JJ3K here, and it's time for another one of many updates on my album. But basically what I wanted to say is, over the past almost 5 years, I think, doing YouTube channels, I learned a lot about music, different, instruments and software and I've become more comfortable with FL Studio as my DAW. Um, I've once again just from I've read like zero instructions just from repetition, trial and error. I believe I learned a lot, and I'm finally ready to put everything and apply it to actually making this album. I've also decided that since the voices and MIDI instruments and VST plugins are countless, I'm gonna limit myself to the instruments I'm using so I don't get caught down this almost 5 year long rabbit hole. Speaking of which, this is going to be an electronic album with the only, vocals and my Squier Precision Jazz bass. Those will be the only, no guitar in it, basically. That's going to be for the next project, music project album. But to get right to it, basically the Squier Jazz bass, as I mentioned, the Akai MPK 25 keyboard and drum pad, the Blue Snowball microphone, my Behringer audio interface, and that's basically it. The bass is going to be directly plugged in to the audio interface, then into FL Studio 20. So, with the exception of vocals, there be no other, microphone in front of amp, live recording. None of that, just vocals through a microphone. I just want to get this electronic project just out of my system, then concentrate more on guitar and bass guitar. But that's the update. I learned a lot about some of the more of the plugins for FL Studio, as far as like the New Tone plugin, to help with the fact that I can't sing. But once again, going back to one of the instruments that I'm going to use is the Akai MPK 25, but I'm only going to use 3 plugins basically. Helm, which is a free VST synth, which is basically a free version of Serum. I'll also be using the GMS drums that come with the FL Studio 20 DAW. I'll be using the 909 and the 808 drum voices, and then I believe it's FPC for the drums and GMS maybe for the keyboard, but there's a bass sound for lower bass that won't be the stringed bass, and that will be from I believe the GMS plugin. But anyway, I'll link that. But I rambled on, but really getting to work on finishing this album, this electronic album. Not giving myself a time frame. I just gave myself these, boundaries and limitations to help focus me on this project. I have a lot of ideas working, a lot of lyrics already written, but I'm basically gonna get working on it so there's a finished product. Rock on.